Good morning and welcome to another episode of Josh and Pat. I'm Joshua Klein, joined by Patrick Cassett, and last night we got to watch the grand finale of the NFL season. And before we go on any more in the show, I thought it would be right to just say a thank you to football and to the 2023-24 season.
Thank you.
You brought a lot of pain, though. Brought a lot of things that sucked. I will say, I think most of America right now is not feeling the best, and most of it is because Kyle Shanahan doesn't know the overtime rules. I guess that's what I'm hearing, Pat.
No, I agree. I think it was a great call. I think you got to go for it first. I mean that,
Right?
yeah, just because his team doesn't know the rules
Right.
doesn't mean that Kyle Shanahan didn't know the rules, Josh.
I know, and that's true. And I think that a lot of people are making that judgment on Kyle Shanahan simply because he's now 0-3 in a coaching position in the Super Bowl. Obviously, we have 28-3 lead with the Falcons. As an offensive coordinator, they lose that game, and then you lose to the Chiefs as the head coach of the 49ers. Then you lose to the Chiefs as the head coach of the 49ers. And I think when you see that pattern there, people's automatic assumption is it's his fault. And that's why I think they're burying him about like, oh, well, the overtime stuff, I don't know. And they're burying him about a lot of things. They're saying the play calling in the second half wasn't good. I think they're trying to blame it on something. But I think the bottom line is, without Kyle Shanahan, I don't know if the 49ers get there.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think the Chiefs just played a whole heck of a lot better than the 49ers in the second half. And I'm not so sure what they could have done different because, I mean, maybe defensively they could have done some things different. Really, I think the game boils down to the muff punt. And because that really kick-started things for the Chiefs. Because the defense was really holding their end of the bargain until that point, and then they got stuck on the field for a while, and it was a tough situation. So, I'm sure they'll be back, right? I mean, the Niners will be back, right, Josh?
They'll be back. And you know what I was saying? Last night I was like, the only thing that because I was on the Chiefs, I had money on the Chiefs. I felt good about the Chiefs. The only thing that was really going to scare me is if a certain guy named Sam Darnold potentially entered the game.
It didn't happen.
Didn't happen. I feel confident. I felt confident in my pick. But I'll tell you what, though, it was an interesting game. There was a couple instances where people are going to point at as the deciding factor. Blocked extra point, muff punt. Those things, they make a difference. But, like, at the end of the day, even if those things go the reverse way, we still don't know what happens. That's what I hate about us. People go, well, that doesn't happen. We win. Like, well, you don't actually know that, believe it or not.
Yeah, because the thing is Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are so good that they just always find a way. They always find a way to win. So even if things didn't work out that way for the Chiefs, they were probably going to figure out a way to win that game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Reffing was pretty solid, though, but I do think we should give a shout-out to Kadarius Toney, who is now a two-time Super Bowl champion. Now, he was a word I've never even heard this before, a healthy scratch yesterday.
Oh, that happens all the time, Josh.
Well, I didn't even know about it, and this is coming off of the AFC Championship game where Kadarius Toney came out and said, listen, guys, I'm healthy. They've been lying about my health this whole year. And he's basically trying to burn down the Chiefs locker room ahead of the game. Now, I think in his brain, maybe he thought the Ravens win, and so it's all fine. It's like, well, I'm going to bury them. Ravens win. We're out anyway. Then you could have said, oh, maybe if we had Kadarius Toney, we win that game.
Right.
Actually, turns out just the worst case scenario for Kadarius Toney happens.
Well, and you know what the funniest part about it is, Josh, is that like a year ago today, Kadarius Toney was like a Super Bowl hero. He had that punt return that set them up inside the 10-yard line. And if you were to tell me a year later that this guy was going to be universally hated by Chiefs fans, I can't believe it.
I would have said you're lying.
Yeah. I
Now
mean,
it's
what an
wild.
all-time.
He's an interesting character. I wonder, like, so he obviously he gets the Super Bowl ring,
Obviously, yes.
but like, is he this the type of Super Bowl ring you show off? Do you like because automatically people are gonna be like, okay, well, you didn't do anything.
Well, yeah. And I sit here and I think about, remember that first game of the year, Josh? Remember? And you have Patrick Mahomes hitting him perfectly in stride, and he's just dropping balls. I'll tell you what, he set the tone for this Chiefs season. He set the tone where they could overcome mistakes. And maybe
Right.
Kadarius Toney having the issues and the Chiefs wide receivers not being able to catch a ball all year, well, it gave Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs that extra step, that extra layer of motivation to know we're not good enough in the
Right.
regular season.
Because pressure makes diamonds, and Kadarius Toney's in the diamond making business.
That's what people say in football, and I don't know if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl if their wide receivers aren't this bad, because I think they had to know we have to win a different way than we've ever won before. So really,
Right.
Kadarius Toney and the Chiefs wide receivers
Right.
should be heroes for the work that they've put in this year to get to the Chiefs another Super Bowl ring.
100%. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. Kadarius Toney he's the unsung hero of this whole season. And so you're right. He does actually. That's a different type of ring. It's like the same thing. It's the Carson Wentz ring because Carson Wentz, if he doesn't go down, we don't see Nick Foles.
Right. That was actually a hero moment. And that because Carson Wentz, you might say, hey, the guy who's going to be the MVP, but we don't know if he was going to be the Super Bowl MVP.
Right. And so it changes everything. Crazy. There was, the Chiefs, they did everything in their power to implode like this whole season.
Yeah.
You got the Kadarius Toney thing. Then you have, Travis Kelce, he almost knocked Andy Reid completely over.
Assault.
Yeah. And it was very interesting because I was watching it and I go, I was very confused of how he can just do that and no consequences. and that's I guess mostly what I was thinking about.
That's the thing, Josh. I'm actually I'm all the way back in on Taylor. I think Taylor's good for football. She looked great. Like she looked great last night. Like like the beer chugging video, like all great stuff, right? And she was with her friends, and her being with her friends makes me go, man, Taylor just seems like a pretty genuinely good person, right?
Right.
I then look at who she's dating.
Right.
And I think part of my pushback to the whole Taylor Travis saga has been misidentified. It's not Taylor Swift's the problem. I think it's Travis Kelce's the problem. Right. And the thing that makes me mad, Josh, is we were taught as kids, right?
Right.
If you do the right thing, you get rewarded. If you do bad stuff, you don't get rewarded with success. Right. And I keep seeing Travis Kelce do some questionable things.
Yes.
Making contact with coaches.
Right.
Throwing helmets on the sideline.
Correct.
Saying stuff on his podcast that just isn't true.
Right. We've never done that.
He was 100% serious, though. There's a difference. There is a difference. We draw the line. How does he then has 2 yards in the first half and then comes out and gets like 100 yards in the second half? How does this guy keep getting rewarded for such that's the part that makes me mad.
Right.
Is I go, I don't think this guy's good, like a good person, and yet
it's tough, Patrick. It's tough. He gets rewarded. I've never said that Taylor. I've been pretty consistent. I like Taylor Swift. I was from the beginning. But it's one of those things where sometimes you have a perception of somebody and then who they associate themselves with actually changes your perception of them. Because you said, I didn't realize your judgment of somebody else's character affects my judgment of your character. sometimes, which is unfortunate. And I'm holding out that maybe she opens her eyes to see that you can't just be assaulting your coach during the game. But it is disappointing that he keeps getting rewarded for this toxic behavior of his. And I'm not going to stand for it, because A.J. Brown told me that if he had done that, he would have been benched. He would have been out of there. He would have been traded. But Travis Kelce gets to do whatever he wants. This is Travis Kelce's team. He can go say whatever he wants, do whatever he wants. Zero consequences. He gets the ring. He gets the girl. And now I'm thinking, you know what, Patrick? Maybe nice guys do finish last.
Yeah, I think they do. That's what I'm finding out.
And maybe I'm flipping up my whole narrative in 2024.
Bad guy. Yeah, like bad boy, right? There's a Will Smith, and what's the other guy in the
I believe. Oh, Bad Boys is Will Smith. Is Mark Wahlberg in that movie? No.
Nope, definitely not.
Okay, there's somebody in there. But yeah, I gotta flip up the narrative, because it is frustrating to see. He did have a big. I mean, he showed up in the moment where he needed to show up. I mean, and you can't take that away from him, which is unfortunate, because as much as I want to sit here and hate and say, you know, where was he? He did come out when the moment mattered the most.
He did.
But I would advise in the future, don't push over your coach.
Yeah, I think that's rule number one when you're on any team, right? It's don't like physically make contact with your coach, and that he broke rule number one.
Just rule number one right off the bat. Now, Patrick, there was a lot of I'm not going to say mysterious stuff. Some people are saying that, and I'm not saying this. I want to make that very clear. Some people are saying that Patrick Mahomes has inherited Tom Brady's evil voodoo magic. Now, we all remember previously that there was allegations that Tom Brady's now ex-wife was a witch.
There was allegations.
And we as a show never stood on a pillar of what's true and what's not true regarding those allegations. We just recognize that they existed. Now, Tom Brady had a lot of success. A lot of things went his way. He was healthy. He actually started reverse aging.
He did.
Right. So we see all that happen. We see the witch allegations, and we go, okay, I'm not sure how Giselle rose to the superstar power, that she has in Brazil. I'm not 100% familiar with Brazil's culture, but I know something's not adding up. Patrick Mahomes, though, last night, eerily similar to some of the ways things are happening. We look at, I believe it was Dre Greenlaw, just jogging out on the field, just routine collapsing. By the way, natural grass.
Grass did look good. Grass looked great.
Grass looked great. And then we see, I believe that there was multiple instances of these non-contact just players collapsing on the 49ers side. And I go, son of a gun. He learned the ways.
Well,
And Patrick, I know you're a big believer in that this game was scripted, so you tell me what happened.
Right. Yeah, of course I am. Here's the thing. You bring up witch allegations. I'm not here to call anybody a witch. That's not what we're going to do. But what I will say is, if you're going to go across that line and you're going to talk about Giselle and the fact that, people accused her of being that.
Right.
Well, Giselle, what was her job?
Model.
She was a world-renowned supermodel, right?
Right.
What comes out this week, Josh? It comes out that Patrick Mahomes' wife is going to be in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit.
Whoa.
As a model.
Right.
And so you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And all I'm saying, Josh, is the puzzles start piecing together.
Right. They make a picture.
It's starting to paint a picture. And maybe it's just the fact. And look, the picture might just be that quarterbacks date models, but
could be.
It's a picture that's being painted.
Wild move though for Brittany, because if you think about it now, some would say that if you look at their childhood pictures, that Brittany really bought in early, and she saw the potential.
Right.
And then I guess, I mean, in theory now you could say the same thing about Patrick, because
he bought in early. Right.
Dated a model, I guess.
He did.
But
Yeah, he dated a model.
Yeah, a lot of correlation there, Patrick, and I don't think enough of the media is going to be talking about that.
Yeah, but you're talking about Trey Greenlaw, Josh. I mean, can we talk about the freaking card he brought out?
Yeah.
I mean, Trey Greenlaw, he called shotgun.
Deserves better.
They wouldn't even put him on the back of the cart.
No. What I thought was interesting is, now I've seen the same cart for every single game ever in the NFL. Super Bowl, they decided to bring out the new model where it looks like he's like it's some sort of like Japanese like tow truck. I don't know.
I would
like it looks like if he was in the back of that, it wasn't because he was injured. It's because like he's being like shipped from like Tokyo to somewhere.
I would say the cart looked like it was from like the 1990s. Like it, and from my viewpoint, I thought Allegiant Stadium was a pretty new stadium.
Right.
I didn't know that they brought the injury cart from Oakland with them.
Well, you have to remember though too, like Mark Davis, he shells up the money for the new stadium. You think he's also going to have to buy? You think he's going to buy a new stadium, pay Devontae Adams, and get new carts?
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to put on the books.
I don't think so. Now, I did see a nice photo of Mark Davis with PFT. They look like they're having a good time.
And they're going to go to PF Chang's at some point, I believe, which is good.
That is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a wild cart move. What's more significant? Him not getting in the back, him riding shotgun there, or Trevor Lawrence walking the whole way? As far as the cart moment of the year.
Cart moment of the year, I think it's worse that Trevor Lawrence had to walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. There's a lot of prop bets last night, Patrick, that you missed all of them, unfortunately, and we I am sorry. I could have had more transparent communication because the coin toss was always supposed to be heads. I knew it.
I didn't bet that, so
I had sources close to the not the situation, but I feel like certain people just have a way of knowing, and I was feeling heads, and I got some confirmation that it was heads, and I went with it. Also, Gatorade color purple, which matches the Super Bowl logo.
Shouldn't count.
Why?
It didn't happen right after the game. They waited like 15 minutes. It shouldn't count. It should be no Gatorade.
But it still happened, right?
No. Yeah, okay. So then do bets ever end?
Well, when it's a game, when it's a bet that's supposed to take place after the game, I would say.
So then it will never end. So it'll never end.
Like, if they got dunked in Gatorade on the plane ride home, and it was the Gatorade from the field, it has to be the Gatorade from the sideline. If they took that Gatorade from the sideline, took it on the plane with them, dunked it on the plane, I say we count it.
No. It's ridiculous because I was going to actually take no Gatorade, and the prop was taken off of DraftKings, so I couldn't take it. It was plus 1,200. That would have been the one bet that I would have hit last night because right,
but you actually wouldn't have hit it, is what I'm saying.
But I should because it happened like 20 minutes after the game.
Right.
Which shouldn't count.
Okay. Well, we'll agree to disagree. I could never have predicted purple, though. The over on the national anthem hits, which I
thought was an easy one.
When it started. Now, is it when she starts singing or when the music starts in?
Well, it doesn't matter. It was when I counted it when she started singing and she still hit the over.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yep.
So she starts singing and I count it. And at first for a minute, I was like, holy crap, it's going to smash the under. Because it felt like she was moving.
It was a double brave though, Josh.
Then she hit the double brave. And turns out, nothing you could do.
Yeah, and I mean, not only like it wasn't close. I mean, she smashed it by like seconds. So
Right. There's no contest there.
yeah.
It hit the over, and what are you gonna do about it? She crushed it though, and
Mm-hmm.
Post Malone kind of crushed his opening song too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Didn't really watch it, but
and I'll say that
I hear it was good.
I think the country like vibe on him works a little bit. Now, it's a confusing look with like when you have full face tats, not a single real teeth.
You got something wrong with Jelly Roll?
No, but it's an interesting
Well,
look.
same vibe.
I didn't say it was
Same
a
vibe.
bad look. I said it was interesting. I didn't say it was bad. It was interesting.
Just saying it was same thing.
Obviously, Chiefs cover the spread, and I mean, what other major bets am I missing here, Patrick? I mean, I think
Yeah, Kyle Juszczyk touchdown didn't happen, unfortunately.
did not happen
He did have that big catch.
early on, monster catch.
Well, it was late in the game. Catch, extend.
Right.
Yeah.
Halftime performance, Patrick, was I'll tell you what. I'm not an Usher guy. I think that's what I found out yesterday, but
I think you knew that. I don't think there's a bone in your body that said I'm an Usher guy.
no, you know what though? Because I guess I knew the song. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know that song?
Yeah, that
And so I was like, okay, well maybe this is gonna be one of those like sneaky catalogs where like he starts out with that one, but then like I don't realize how many big hits he has, and he's like he just like rolls out these hits, and I'm like, oh wait, yeah, like that's a good song too, yeah.
Josh, he was rolling out hits before we were born. So I think that's why there was a bit of a disconnect for at least our generation on some of the Usher songs.
Yeah.
So
But-
yeah.
When my guy Lil Jon
no.
came out,
Okay, there we go.
I was hyped. I was going, whoa! I didn't know Usher was on this.
It's like I wasn't familiar with that.
Was he actually?
Yeah, Usher is in that song. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what-
he is.
I
yeah,
thought
he's
the
in
song
yeah.
just went like repeated the whole time.
No.
One shots, turn down for burn, and then he goes.
Oh, the
for-
turn down for what? No, he's not in that song. But the yeah, he's in.
Yeah, I knew he was in that one. I didn't know. I thought you were saying Usher's in "Turn Down for What." I was like,
Oh,
I don't know where
no.
he's in that song because that song is really just kind of repeats.
It's really just
the same
yeah. It
thing
really
there.
is just it's just turned down. For
So unless
what.
he's the "Turn Down for What" guy, which I don't believe he is, I'm not sure where he's there.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with you on that one.
Okay, so he's not there now.
Yeah.
In the future, like, can we just get like Justin Bieber? Can he do it? Because
Well, he just came back. He just came back from the 2-year hiatus, so he might be on the books for next year.
like, right, he can do the All-Star Game halftime performance, but he can't do
Well, he didn't do the All-Star game
for
halftime performance.
NHL.
He just did the private. He did the private concert.
Private concert.
Private concert. They brought in Tate McRae.
Dude, Tate
fan.
McRae slowly. I'm falling in love with her.
Slowly. What is there slowly to get on the bandwagon for?
Because
I think you get on that. You get on the bandwagon.
yeah,
pretty
I've been on the
quick.
bandwagon for a while. I've been.
Yeah.
That was, and I didn't realize because like she just showed up in one of the song, like she was singing a song. And I was like, who is this? Who is this girl?
And then you go and you look her
then
up
I
and
Google how old is Tate McRae, and I go, okay, I can be a fan.
Yep, we're good. And then it's like I'm gonna familiarize myself with her.
Right, and I only know
that's what
2
you do.
songs.
But that's the familiarization process, right? Yeah.
I know those 2 songs. I won't want myself. Baby, please believe me. I
Yeah.
put you. And then she's got the other song. It's like, you broke me first.
I want to say
Well-
I was big on Tate McRae like 2 years ago. Like I want to say I was at the front line.
Oh, and that's when she was 18.
Isn't she 21 now?
Oh, maybe so. She was 9. Oh, you got her on the 19, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You were younger back then too.
No. But I would say I listened to her music. I'm not saying that like I was
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got to fix a halftime show though. Get some people that we really want. Like Justin Bieber would have crushed it. I would say, like, I'm trying to think of Harry Styles that would crush it.
Yeah, he's taking like a 2-year absence.
Right, but that's like
Yeah.
yeah, but 2-year absence is better than Usher, who's been on like a 10-year one.
I don't think it was an absence. I think it was a lack of people listening. That's a bit different.
Right, but I think we can fix it.
Yeah.
Commercials of the night, I loved. Verizon crushed it, and I usually am anti-Verizon commercials. Beyonce, turns out she dropped new music. I didn't even know.
There was a point in the commercial, yeah.
I thought, well, because you know why it was confusing? Because you know why it was confusing? It was because in the commercial she was also performing in space, and I was like, well, she didn't really do that.
Well, she was the BOTUS.
Right, but like she was doing all these things in the commercial that didn't really happen. So when I thought she said she was dropping new music, that was like, well, she didn't do any of the other stuff. So I thought that was just part of the script. I really did.
Well, yeah, it turns out she did.
That's like a surprise. I feel like I did. I mean, it was good. I also liked getting Tom Brady in the Dunkin' commercial with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Good.
How about them donuts?
I mean, I support it. J-Lo also in there. Do you think that? I mean, that's got to be tough for A-Rod.
Yeah, but he's an owner of the Timberwolves, so you got to remember they're having a good year. I'm sure he's doing fine. He probably didn't even tune in for the game.
Right, Lamar Jackson didn't. He was. Yeah. He said, "I'm not watching it too raw."
I wish I didn't watch it.
So, yeah, that's good for him. And then Jets released new uniforms. Patrick, why is this on the sheet?
I thought it's funny. Coming in April will be interesting. As people are saying,
right? But what is
throwbacks?
I mean, they're going to be the throwbacks like the old Jets.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to next season, Josh. I mean, I don't see the issue here. Come on.
So that's what. Now we're in that weird spot where it's like we got to look forward. The off season is about to get real long. We're about to start talking about basketball. Probably we're going to be talking about. Though I'm trying to. So like I'm all the way in on. And it sucks because I have to disassociate this team from the city. But like I really would like Stephen Curry to take the Warriors team, which is they've not been playing good at all. I'd like to see him turn this team around, take them on a run, like really carrying him on his back, and then be like, I'm better than LeBron.
I'm all in on the Knicks. And if that means landing LeBron James in a Knick uniform, so be it.
I don't know if that's happening.
I would argue it's not going to happen until after the season at this point.
Well, they say that, it's going to be where can he set himself up for Bronny to go? Now, I'm be honest with you. I watched some tape on Bronny the other day. I don't know if that's going to happen.
I'm not so sure Bronny's in the league next year, but we'll have that discussion.
He is eligible for the league next year. It's one and done, right, for basketball?
Yeah. Well, actually, no. He will be in the league next year. Just because LeBron.
Okay, so your team, right? You're like, okay, we can get LeBron. You'd have to be in the perfect sweet spot of like you got a lot of pieces already. LeBron James puts you over the top because you can't be. You have to be in a win now mentality because if, for instance, you don't win now, you just cost a draft pick. So you probably don't use a first, or do you? And then it's going to be a question as how high is somebody going to take Bronny to get LeBron?
Josh, it's perfect because he's going to be, if you take him after a lottery pick, like after the lottery's over, LeBron's sitting there, he's like, Bronny, like you got to understand, this is the best thing that ever happened to us, right? Because you're getting drafted to a good team. So I'm going to sign with a team that already has the pieces. And so now you start putting it together. And it's going to be really fun to watch LeBron James on the Oklahoma City Thunder.
And then we also got the Daytona 500 to look forward to. We're going to get through this offseason together, guys. This is the start of something really, really... Oh, we lost the audio. Really painful. It made it so far, though.
Wow, it made it about 30 minutes longer than I thought it would.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that's the show, guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you guys on Friday for another episode of Josh and Pat. And then I'll tell you what, we're gonna get through this together. And just so you know, nobody's happy in America right now. So if you're not happy, well, small percentage of people are happy.
No, I'd argue there's a lot of people. Every
Okay.
Taylor Swift fan is thrilled.
I'd say there's more people not happy than there are happy.
In America,
Yes.
it's about 50-50.
No. 50% of the country does not root for the Chiefs.
Taylor Swift has 300 million followers on Instagram.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Frank. That's international, though. She's international.
Okay, so probably 200 million Americans.
We don't want to talk about it. Don't want to talk about it. Anyway, guys, you have a wonderful day. Peace.